Hi everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do the energy update for this week. Today I am recording this on July the 24th, and so it will follow us into the end of July. I'm going to make it the whole rest of the month. So whatever days we have left in July, that's is what this energy update will be including. I think that's pretty sure that's over a week. I am so lost in time. Anyone else lost in time? Anyone else losing track of time? Oh, frick. It's actually one full week. Today till the 31st. It's one full week. Couldn't make that shit up. Okay. So, but is anyone else losing track of time? Like it's really like we are warping through through time, like there's time warps happening, losing track of time. The days are going by so fast. It feels like everything is speeding up. And of course, time is that illusion because it's a calculated, it's a well-organized system. It's a part of it was designed so that we could stay on track, so that we could create our modern world, so that we know when to go to work, know when we're done work. Kind of goes against our natural rhythm in our body. It doesn't work with our natural rhythm. And so it throws us for a loop. And so we're never really in sync with ourselves. And this month really brings us this energy is really bringing us into a time of really having to come into alignment with time, with our own natural time, but also in alignment with our own truths, and being able to trust ourselves, because it is so easy to get fooled. The veils of illusions, the imposter light has upped its game. And so it's upped its ante. There's a lot of puppet on the string energy that's coming up. And so there's a lot of those veils of illusions. And it's like, and we can be so, all we need is someone sometimes to fluff our feathers. And the minute someone fluffs our feathers and tells us how great we are, is that we don't ask anything any further than that. We don't ask what do they want? What are they searching for? It's like, oh, my shadow finally got fed what it needed. And so the shadow is really being fed everything that it needs. It's being fed its true desires. It's getting its way. There's a happiness of that's coming in. And it's like, whoa, are we here to serve the shadow? Are we here to serve the light? Which one are we really here to serve? And because we've been serving and feeding and being fed from feeding the shadow for so long, it's very easy to go back to old habits, old ways. It's very easy to return to the way things used to be. And that is where some of this energy that is being perceived is as arrogance is when you look at arrogance beyond the definition, the dictionary's definition, and you go a little bit deeper, and you take it a little bit deeper, and you look at it a little bit deeper. And we look at it in a way of just saying, how did those old ways serve me? How did those habits of the past really serve me? How did getting my way really work for me? And I think of my own personal life, and I'm sure you can, of when I got my way, I got what I wanted. And I know how that really turned out for me. It's like getting that person that you want. It's like, oh, I still want to date that person. And remember being a teenager or being a young person, you're like, oh, I want that person so bad, that you're willing to lose aspects and parts of yourself or change and morph away from the people in your life to get what you want, because you want this so bad. But what's it costing you? And then you get it, and it turns out to be nothing like the story you created. So you end up in this relationship, you end up with this person, and it's nothing like you thought it would be. I wrote a whole blog about that, actually. I wrote, and I mean, I went on to marry the man of my life that I wrote this blog about, but I wrote about the going from friends. He was a friend first, and from friends into a relationship, and that journey from friend into relationship. And I had these stories in my head. I had placed them, in a certain light and how I thought he was. And then from being in a friendship with somebody to being in a relationship with somebody was nothing of the same, nothing. And so all those stories that I thought was my truth became not truth. There was all these pieces of lies. So we have a whole life, a whole world that is built on half-assed truths and lies. that we believe to be truths. And you know a story to be true until you find out something new, and then it's a lie. And so this is smoke and mirror kind of image, kind of energy that we're in right now, is that we have a lot of smoke and mirror and energy that is here. And those, you know, and those veils of illusions. And I write about this in my books. My books are all written from that place of, I don't tell people how to live their lives. I share my stories and my experiences because I don't know what's best for everyone. Can I read the energy? Yes. Can I see? Yes. Can I have all of this? But only what our body tells us when we learn to come into alignment to our body and into our truth. Is that my truth? Does that align to me? And I would say, you know, we have free will for a reason. And when you meet, so there's two blogs. There's the one about the partner. And then there's another one about the gates of meeting at the gates of Lucifer. And I'm saying Lucifer is kind of the angel at the door of our choices, and, you know, wearing the mask of just trying to trick us and fool us. So we have a lot of trickster energy here right now. We have a lot of veils of illusions. And if you can't tell the difference between imposter light and true light, it's so easy to get lost. And how do we tell the difference? It is so hard to be able to tell the difference. And so when everything seems to finally swing in our direction, when everything is like, well, I'm getting everything that I want now. But is everything that I want everything that I need? Is this of my highest good? And so it can be so tempting because the curious mind wants to get everything to go the way that we think it should go is such a temptation. But it doesn't mean it's for the best. We might not even like some of the things that's actually for our highest good. It's like eating broccoli, right? If you don't like fruits and vegetables and you're given a choice to eat a Twinkie or a Twix bar, and it appears so good and it's so yummy, it's so decorated, or my wine and chips book, this is what this is all about. And then you're being given, you know, being shown plain broccoli. Broccoli don't appear as if it's better for you, good for you, but what's yummy and what your shadow is telling you, and what all of your hurt feelings, all of your hurt emotions are telling you, what all of your old habits and what you've convinced yourself you like is the addictive sugary, is that you will be like, oh, I love this. This tastes so much better. This makes me happy. But does it make me healthy? Happy, healthy. So is this really, because if you look at all the things that happens to us from the sugar aspect, that we tell ourselves this instant gratification is happy, is it really happiness, or is it the illusions of happiness? Ta-da. Is it really happiness, or is it more temporary satisfactions? And then you spend a lifetime trying to build up, trying to feed the temporary happiness, because the underbelly of all of this, to go the right way, to do the right things, is to probably choose the broccoli. Why the broccoli? Because the broccoli is probably healthier for you. And you'll have every reason to tell yourself no. So we don't want to stay in the real light. The imitation light is fun. Come to the party. The party's happening over here. We got everything over here. Look, we're dancing, we're singing. We're like puppets on a string. Come over here. Versus over here, oh, what do you mean I got to do the work? What do you mean I don't get all my own way? What do you mean what do you mean it's not going to be as flavorful and tasteful as I want it to be? What do you mean? That's veils of it. That's imitation light versus true light. And we are in it, and that's arrogance. And so we truly can convince ourselves that I know what's best. I know I like this, and I know this is what I want, because we have blinders on. And we don't want to see what's beyond because we're so busy feeding our temporary satisfactions. Another one would be shopping, right? Oh, I love the shop. I love to shop. Shopping makes me happy. No, the shopping, does being in debt make you happy? Does overspending make you happy? Does always being preoccupied with scrolling in, looking at something else to buy, being so easily bought into somebody who's selling something because they've set up an account where they are now making money from telling you how great a product is, that may not be great, but they've got 10,000 of those. If you go search it, that is great, that changes their lives. Is that the best? these are all the things we're speaking about. Or is it sitting back with yourself and asking yourself, you know, if I held off on this, if I really get to the truth of why I get so distracted, why I'm not hanging out with myself, why hanging out with myself and doing the things that bring me closest to what the foundation of happiness would be, what brings me to joy would be, how would I feel if I got there? And so these are all imitations. And these are things that, you know, what if I cut these strings? What if I could cut these strings that I have attachments to? What if I can cut free of that? And if that doesn't own me, and I always tell my clients when I work with my clients, my job is to work you out of needing me. My programs are designed so that I can help you to break the programming so that you can think for yourself, so that you make your own choices and decisions and not be existing in survival and fear. And so that working your way away from me means we can check in once every 6 months, once a year, whatever it may be. But nothing makes me any happier than to see somebody standing and saying, I've done this, I've overcome this, I've made this happen, I've worked through this, I've done, and like, yay, because watching people move and shift into their own light and igniting their own spark is so powerful. It's so beautiful, because the more that comes over here, the happier. But misery also loves company. So when misery loves company, we're very good at keeping company with our own misery. And we're very good at keeping company with misery. And so when we, you know, I always go back to, my mom would buy things on the shopping channel and she'd say, look, this is the best thing ever. And then it would break on her. And nothing against the shopping channel, and nothing against shopping, and nothing against having an occasional Twix bar. But it's not about, it's about how we get consumed by it. And so arrogance and the consumption. And how would we get consumed? And if we are so good as a human race of, if we find something that we like or something that's good, it's just like, everyone's got to dive into it. And it's like we eat ourselves alive. Like, it's like we destroy the things that are good, that because there's such a desire to consume more of it, right? Whereas finding the healthy balance is key. And this is all coming up now in the end of July, because we're in that Leo season where we also have the shadow of the Leo of what is happening in how the planets are aligning, is that we have the power of the fire. Then we also have some, I believe it's like Virgo or something like that in. I'm not an astrologer, so, but the way I'm seeing it, it's like very like sensible. But also very, are you sure about that coming in? Because there is a level of that arrogance. And so because of that, because we're seeing that, it's like, oh, come on, come to the party, don't be boring. And so how many times in our relationships with other people have we even tempted other people that way? I'm guilty. I was an asshole. I was an asshole of that, of, you know, somebody's probably on a healthy kick and I'm like, really? Are you really going to, like, aren't you just good? Don't be so boring. That was the old versions of myself that really truly would just, you know, instead of honoring that, that was a reflection back to me, that was mirroring back to me of like, well, why aren't you eating the damn broccoli? Oh, because I love the Twix bar. And so this is the energy, and it's so here. So bring it into alignment to everything in your life right now and look at it. It's like relationships. Oh, I just love them. Is it love? Or do you even know what love is? What is love? And do you know how to love yourself? Oh, I love myself. Well, how do you love yourself? Well, you know, I get on the treadmill and I run for an hour. So, you know, or so is that a healthy balance? Or do you beat yourself up that you're not enough for the people in your life? So you got to get better looking, you got to get younger looking, so that you're enough in the world that has created many veils of illusions. What is your truth? And how deep is that truth? How deep is that lie? How deep are our lies that we believe to be truth because we are blind? We turned a blind eye, we put on rose-colored glasses, and we exist in a world where we have been so programmed and conditioned to these that it's just leading us forward. So now we're dancing in this energy, and so this is dancing around. And so there's a lot of spitting out crow feather energy that could really take place. And there's a lot of our own energy. So it's like what we project onto others, what you project onto the people in your life, or the expectations that you have on somebody to be the somebody that makes you feel happy inside, that makes your life happy. And if that you want them to be happy so that you're happy. Do you want someone to be happy so that you're happy? Do you want someone to turn the way you see things so that it makes you more comfortable? Look at this and see this on a bigger scale. Turn the mirror around and let the mirror reflect back onto you so that you can start to see real light versus imitation light, because your sense of self-esteem is often based on other people's thoughts that become your thoughts. Your programming, your conditioning throughout lives, your beliefs, your values, everything has been based on this. When I wrote, let's just go to wine and chips for a second. When I wrote the book Wine and Chips, this was about a grape named Rose. But that grape named Rose was about, this is not about me. It's about a grape named Rose. And it's not about the me of today. And it'd be so easy to perceive it to be about a me of today. But it's not. It's about the stories. It's about the shadow essence of ourselves. It's about the things that we believe that become such a truth to us until one thing changes the story. And when we can see one new truth, or we find out one thing and then it's no longer a truth, now there's something new. And so we're really seeing those real deep, like in the light truths come in. And so, if you look at, so wine, so go back up a little bit, because I got two stories happening. So wine and chips, and the grape was, she was, turn a grape, it's like, if I seen a grape, I'm like, oh, God, I don't even like grapes. Why would I eat a grape? But I love wine. Amazing, right? I can eat the grape. I don't want to eat the grape, but I'll drink the wine. I don't want to eat peanut butter. I don't like peanuts or natural peanuts, but I'll eat the sugary peanut butter that has some added sugar to it, because that's way better. That tastes way better. Do you see the shadowy aspect of the archetypes that live within us, that are in our own stories, that are trickster energies that play? And so the other one is the potato chips. I love potato chips, but do I want the boring old potato? Why wasn't the boring old potato enough? And so I couldn't, this book is like so tied to everything that we are existing in right now, everything that we're about to watch to unfold between what's happening now all the way into 2025, I think in 2026, is that we have so much of this, and that us really truly becoming honest with ourselves, getting back into the alignment of the rhythms of our own body, listening to our deeper truth, not being afraid to face ourselves, to turn the mirror around and ask, why do I want that so bad? And why was I so quick to make somebody else my enemy? Why was I so quick to do that? Or why was I so quick to, fall in love with something that I created, of a vision of a person that I seen the right avatar. And when I see the right avatar that fits my stories of what I'm looking for, then everything else will align until they break that story. Yeah. So this is what we have. And we're in this energy, and it's in this time. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, oh crap. It is big. It is powerful. But it also has I would say this has been such a beautiful journey, such a beautiful opportunity. I could speak about this forever because I wrote lots of books on this. But it's really truly is this energy. And as this channels through today, I can feel myself feeling some sort of like coming to life and feeling alive in this, but also feelings that, like, a little bit of an old feeling coming up of that resentment, of that frustration of, whoa, why can't everybody just see? Having the ability to see beyond has led to a very frustrating life. But I could see beyond for the world, could see beyond for the spirit, but I also got caught in my own bullshit. And I got caught in my own stories and my own, what I held on to so tight. And when you can finally let go, when you can finally release your hold onto those narratives and those stories, and you can pause and you can breathe before you respond. And I almost responded to something in these past couple of days myself, that I'm like, that's it. You know, it's like, I'm going to tell this, I'm going to speak this truth, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's not even your truth. That's not even your truth. Sit back. Don't go waiting to spit out some crow feathers. That's not true. What do you really need to say? And what do you really mean? And yeah, you may be hurt. You may be feeling that hurt, but you're only feeling that hurt because you created a story. So without the story, what would you have? Without a story, who would you be? Without all of these masks that we wear and all of these identities in the roles that we play, who would we be? And so all of this shadowy archetypal energy is coming up, and coming up soon. I will have a new course that's going to be launched. But in the meantime, you can join me for I'm actually doing it on August the 4th because I'm going on holiday, but I'm doing a activation and healing circle for the August the 8/8, for the August the 8th, Lionsgate portal energy, which really truly is a really good time for manifesting and intentions. So we want to be clear on what we're manifesting. We want to be clear on what intentions we're setting, and for what version of yourself that you're setting those intentions for. And so as we shift into and move into August, you will have a new moon appearing. And that new moon is going to be appearing, and I think it's like a super new moon. And I do believe it's like, or it's falling into, is it a blue moon? I can't remember, but I do know it's a super moon. And so that 4th, August the 4th, that new moon is a big shift energy. So it is a beginning of something, and a beginning of a new truth. And so when all the lights go out, and you see, and when all the lights go out and the illusions that it's dark, is that there is still a light. Imitation light is not always so active when everything goes dark in our lives. And no, wait, no, that's not it. They said no. What they're telling me is that imitation light will try to come in when all goes dark. You know, that savior kind of energy. So it's like, I'm going to be the savior of everyone else, but I can't save myself, right? It's that one that is like, oh, I'm always that person. So it's the martyr complex. So recognizing the martyr complex that comes in, true light will stand there and wait for us to kind of find our way back. Not always feeling like it has to reach in, not always feeling like it has to jump in. But martyr will be, I'm always the first. I'm always reaching out. Look at me. I'm here for you. Yeah, well, sometimes it's best to wait for some, it's like, do they really need my help? Does the world really need me? So guardian angels versus fallen angels, right? It's the essence of your guardians wait for you to say, help, please help me. And so we can tell ourselves a lot of stories, but nobody's there, nobody's helping us. But our guardians are there waiting, and they're always there, and they'll always be there, and they'll always be there when we need them. But they'll often let us try to do things on our own, because they will never override that free will until they're given permission to step in. This is in comparison for a martyr complex, right? And so martyr complex would be more of the fallen angel. I didn't get all my needs met. I need something to nurture. I don't nurture myself, but I'm going to nurture everyone else. So I need to be there for you. Let me in, let me in, let me in. I can do this for you. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me do this. Let me do this. And look what I can do for you. And look how great it's going to be. But you or no one else will forget that I have done this for you. You'll remember, like the Twix bar. You'll remember, because your body will wear the Twix bar. Your sugar levels will spike. Will the fallen, that imitation light will be the same way when it appears in us showing up, when people show up from their shadow aspect versus showing up from their truth. In their truth, they show up with love. But because we have been so led to believe that, oh, you got to jump into action, it's like, no, sometimes we have to wait. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves, Is this really what people need? That we don't have to just keep being that person that just has to be in everyone's life and has to be the most important person in everyone's life? People will find you. And so this energy is about the movement. True light will stand there. It'll say, you just start walking towards you and you will walk into me. And when you start walking towards you, the real you and the real truth, you will walk into me. And when you walk into me, you'll walk into the best version of yourself. If you keep walking into this, walking with this, or having this do it for you, having everything kind of making instant gratification, instant happiness, instant satisfaction, then we're just going to keep walking into, empty spaces, empty lives, always something missing. And where we can never find bliss. So if we move beyond the temporary satisfaction of temporary happiness, over here we find radiance, we find bliss. And so beyond all of this, it's our ability to let ourselves sometimes fall into our sad, fall into our, having to do our hard work, having to do the things that we need to do. So that we don't become a puppet on a string, we don't become a dancing little puppet to just get what we want, to get what we need. And trust me, we're seeing this in the world right now. And it is here right now. No, take out the word trust me. Exonate that out. You don't have to trust in me. You have to trust in yourself. Trust in yourself. You trust in you, that you can feel what is right for you, that you can feel this truth. And you can see things, and you start to see things, you start to question, why is it all of a sudden this person was kind of not so important, or this person was somewhat this, and now all of a sudden they're that? Wonder what's happening. Wonder what's going on. And I can tell you how I've seen that in this own personal journey, isn't that need to be branded. I'm not a fucking cow. I love cows. I love all animals, but I'm not a cow, and I don't need a stamp on my ass. I don't need a tag on my ear. I don't need to be branded to be specifically to one so that everyone knows exactly what I am. I need to be able to explore me, and I need to be able to let all of me out. And there's peace, and that is so goes against the boxes and the systems. So when people want to break free from the box, but then they need a box, got to get back in the box. I need a box. We need to know what you are. We need to know who you are. We need to know where you belong. What room do you belong in? What group do you belong in? What lane do you belong into? Neither one. I'm going to run like a little wild little horse. I'm going to be like the free range cows. I don't know, but I can't be branded that way. I can't live that way. That's not who I am, because then that's not authentic. Then once again, I'm losing that authenticity of self. And there's nothing wrong with having a well put together if that's what suits somebody, but it's not for everybody. And so every time we try to make somebody fit to everything that we think it should be, we're falling back, because we're telling people to go against who and what they really are. And this is how we lose love and how the light fades, because this is how we get tied into the imitation. And so it is such a big thing right now. It may feel small, and this may seem like a real joke talking about this and the way I'm communicating it, because I have to use stories and experiences that kind of make it make sense, because that's how it resonates with me. But it's a very serious time, because as we move forward, if we keep allowing ourselves to not really truly be in alignment to our truth, but in alignment to the imitation, or into the deeper programming of, no, you don't really like that, you like this. It's like, no, and I don't really love that. That's just what spikes these levels in me. This is what provides what is missing from me. But I may not like broccoli exactly, but I may like some other vegetables. I may like some healthier choices. So is this a healthy choice? And what healthy choices can I choose? So because we're an adult, we don't have to choose the broccoli, but it makes us curious to come back over here and say, okay, light, I don't think I'm about angels. And I don't think I'm really about the, one person's view of God. But I can get on board to, say, carrots, cucumber. I can get on board to, I can probably get on board to goddesses. I can probably get on board to this. I can get on board to something, that brings me closer to knowing myself. And the closer we get back to knowing ourselves is that we start to open up these rooms, these doors inside of ourselves. This temple begins to become bigger and broader. And we get to know this spirit self. We get to know the emotional body. We get to mature, grow, and we get to be a better version of ourselves. We're not here to perfect it. We're here to really, truly honor it and love it, and know that there, we are good, and that goodness does exist inside of us, that divine exists inside of us, that that we have a true strength, we have a true courage, that we don't have to live in the illusions of our false sense of self, that there's something that we don't have to fake it till we make it. We simply just have to be ourselves and show up as that self. And it may be floundering, it may be flailing around, it may not be perfect, but it's authentic. And when we find that balance in ourselves, it's going to help us through some of the times that will challenge us and make us kind of question, why am I me? Because this is the way you were meant to be, because you were chosen to be this person. Your soul chose this little avatar, and it's, like it or not, it's yours. And the more you don't like it, the more you dislike it, the farther away you get. Because why do you not like it? What was the narrative in the story that was fed into you that took away your sense of self, your sense of courage, your sense of confidence, your self-esteem? What broke that strong foundation that we arrived with? And this is where we begin to come back into our light and into our truth. That's what I have for you. This is a long, long message. It's a big message, not long, I guess. It's a big message for this end of the month. If you'd like to know more, if you'd like to take part in some of this, in this energy of this Lionsgate that's coming up, go to my website, go to Corrie Thorne-Cameron.com. All the info is in the link below, and you can get all the info and be able to even purchase the books, whatever you want. But until the 25th, which is only another day. I think it's only until the 25th. And for one more day, you can purchase the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards and receive a free emailed to you 2-card reading that will be emailed to you. That will be a video that I'll make for you. And other than that, there is also the summer deal of purchase a the Goddess 2-card reading, and you will, for $44, and that will be emailed to you as well. All the rest of my regular emailed readings are also still available. So you can purchase those at any time. They do take up to 48 to 72 hours. And if it's on a weekend, it will be if you order on a Friday or over the weekend, you will get them the following Tuesday, because I don't really record on those weekends. So that's what I have for you. I send you so much love, and you want to purchase the Wine and Chips book, or More Than Existing, or My Truth of Existing Beyond Reflection. It's all on my website as well. Go check it out. And thank you so much, and the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. So have a beautiful, beautiful rest of July, and we'll talk soon. Much love. Bye-bye.